All right, so the first problem, number 4, where you have the inverse sine of negative 1/2. The easiest thing to do is to set that equal to theta. Move sine over. So now sine of theta is negative 1/2. So then the question is, where is sine negative? So we've got all students take calculus. So sine's going to be negative in the third and the fourth. But since we are looking for the inverse of sine, that only goes between negative 90 degrees to 90 degrees. Or another way of saying that, you can only look in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So really we are looking at, not this angle, but this triangle. Alright, so this is equal to y over r. So I've got negative 1 and 2, which if that's negative 1, that's negative 2, then this is going to be square root of 3 from our special triangles. Across from that negative 1 is going to be 30. Okay, now we could describe this as, if we put it in standard position, this would be 360 minus 30, which would give us 330. But notice that 330 falls outside of this range from negative 90 to 90. So we need to be able to describe this little angle in a different way. So instead of making it a positive angle, we can say that this is equal to, so theta is equal to negative 30. If we go the opposite direction, starting here and going this way. Now negative 30 is within this interval, so this would be our final answer. Okay, the next problem, cosine of the inverse of tangent of negative 2 over 3. First thing we want to do is we want to work in the inside, so I need to look at the inverse tangent of negative 2 over 3. So inverse tangent, negative 2 over 3. Do the same thing. I'm going to set that equal to theta. I'm going to move tangent over, so now it's not the inverse, it's just tangent of theta. It's equal to negative 2 over 3. Next question is, where is tangent negative? Okay, well, all students take calculus, so it's negative in the second quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. But since we are looking for the inverse of tangent, that falls between negative 90 and 90 degrees, not including, that's what these parentheses mean, not including the negative 90 and the 90. Or it's the same thing, quadrant, any triangles or angles in quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. So we just need to look at the triangle in quadrant 4. Okay, tangent says that this is going to be y over x. So we've got a 2 and a 3. And since we're in the fourth quadrant, y's are going to be negative, x will be positive. So that negative will go with that negative 2. Okay, to get our hypotenuse, because this is a right triangle, I need to use c squared equals a squared plus b squared, which is really the same thing as saying the hypotenuse squared is equal to one side squared plus the other side squared. Okay. So we don't know the hypotenuse, so that's just c squared. One of them's 3, square that one. plus negative 2, square that one. So c squared is 9 plus 4, which that would give us 13. So this is 13, and then square root the 13. Okay, so that is the square root of 13. Okay. Now I could replace this whole thing right here. Since the inverse of tangent of negative 2 over 3 is equal to theta, we could really say that cosine of theta instead of cosine of the inverse of tangent of negative 2 over 3. So this is just x over r. Our x is 3. Our r is square root 13. Just found that. I can't leave it like that because I have a square root in the bottom. So I need to rationalize, so multiply square root 13 over square root of 13. That's a form of 1. So we'll get 3 square root of 13 over 13. And there's your answer. Okay, number 9, where you had this triangle. This was angle A, B, and C. They said this side was 24. This side, which is the hypotenuse, is 30. And they were looking for side C. Okay, so we can use that same formula. Hypotenuse squared is equal to one side squared plus the other side squared. So here's our hypotenuse because it is directly across the 90-degree angle right here. This is 90 degrees. Here's one side. Here's the other side. Okay, so we've got 30 squared is equal to 24 squared plus the other side squared. So 30 squared, that's going to be 900, equal to 24 squared, that is 576, plus that side we're looking for, squared. Okay, so then I need to subtract the 567 from both sides. Or the 576, my bad. So 900 minus 576, that gives me 324, which is equal to our side squared. The last thing we need to do is square root both sides. And once I do that, I get 18. And there's our answer right there. Let me know if you have any more questions over these problems.